Slurp-de-diddly-doo, my G's. I like this technique. Thank you to my student, Malcolm, for showing me this on a lesson recently, because I learn just as much from my students as they do from me sometimes, you know. And this is a great way to do a bit of side chaining. I have just tested it out, and it sounds really nice, and it's free, and it's basically, I don't know if you've seen this technique before, but if you haven't, then I would recommend it. It sounds like it works pretty nicely and quickly. And it's basically using the Kilohearts Gate as a sidechain trigger. And it's pretty simple to set up. And it could be good to do your sidechain compression because I feel like it works pretty quickly. A normal compressor sometimes can be a bit slow in ducking the volume down. And there's so many ways you can sidechain. So really, I'm not here to tell you this is the only way. There's like millions of ways. But this could be a cool way, I think, if you're, for example, perhaps you're on Ableton and you're just using the Ableton compressor for sidechaining and it's not like doing the job as well as you'd like, and you don't want to mess around with, you know, bringing the sidechain triggers earlier than the grid because, you know, of the latency and all this. Anyway, here is the method to sidechain using the gate. I've just tested it out, and as I said, and it seems pretty nice. I've got a little drum beat here with a little bass from Current that I made earlier on the Patreon Pocket Rockets, the classy crystals, and so it's a subtle mixing thing that I'm doing, but I hope that you can hear the difference anyway. So here's with the sidechain off. And now we'll put the sidechain on. And you can hear the kick is really coming through a lot nicer now. And we haven't sacrificed much of the bass because I've mixed it in you know, to find a nice sweet spot. It's just about getting enough of that kick to come through so it's a little bit clearer. And essentially, very easy to set up the sidechain. You just put your Kilohearts Gate plugin onto the sound you want to duck, so the bass, for example. Select your sidechain input from wherever you're sidechaining, the snare, kick, whatever, but here, in this case, it's from the kick. And then what you're going to go ahead and do next is down here on the sidechain mode, you're going to switch it to input 3 and 4. Now, on Logic, this seems to work straight away. I don't know if it's going to be okay on your DAW, but hopefully should be fine. And then you're going to tick this flip button to on, because if you have it off, it's basically going to sort of do the opposite, where it's going to, if I add this one back in as well here, if the flip button's not on, it's going to boost the volume every time the kick happens, you know? So if you turn the flip on, then it will duck the volume. It's as simple as that, really. And then it's a case of just adjusting your parameters. Obviously, I tend to have the attack at 0, so it happens, you know, really quickly. The look ahead on should also help if there's any latency, so that your sidechain will be really fast. Then the release of is going to be just adjusting to the length of your kick and how, you know, how smoothly you want the end part to, you know, come back up again. And the hold as well, obviously you can have a bit of hold so it stays down for, like, you know, the first half of the kick and then releases towards the end. You can kind of just adjust those by ear, you know. And yeah, then the threshold and the range are obviously important. So if your range is yeah, really like high and the threshold is really low, then you're going to get a massive sidechain, you know. But yeah, it can bring that back. So maybe for this one, I was thinking 3 or 4 dB for the range, and then just the threshold sort of had the intensity of the sidechain, you know. But yeah, just dial it in by ear, but it seems to be like a really fast way and an accurate way to do the sidechain. It's almost like too sharp at points, you know, so I've got to kind of be a bit smoother with it. Okay, so great little tool if you're looking for a free way to do sidechaining that seems to be quite accurate and fast. I would say give it a go. Yeah, sometimes it's like when I test plugins out over like a longer time frame, I really find which techniques work best for me and which ones are like the most effective and optimal techniques to use. But this is the first time I've tried it, so it seems really, really good so far. So I'll probably use this technique going forward just for a few more weeks and see how I get on in my mixdowns. But it seems like a cool way to do sidechaining. So hope that helps some of you out. And yeah, just wanted to share that because it's free. So that's always great. And yes, big up my G's. Have a great rest of your day. More from me soon. Much love.